Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Hollow Knight Silksong. And look, people aren't just calling this a sequel. It's being framed as a genuine masterclass.
Right. Setting a new benchmark, really, for Metroidvanias.
Exactly. It's way more than just a follow-up. It feels like, well, a redefinition.
And our mission today, for you, is to maybe cut through some of that hype. We want to pull out the really interesting bits, the insights into how Team Cherry took what they learned from the original and just amplified it. They've built something that, feels familiar, but also totally new and exciting.
So what makes it unique? For veterans, for newcomers, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, okay, right out of the gate, the biggest thing people point to is the shift in protagonist. We go from the knight, who's very silent, very methodical.
Very grounded.
Yeah, grounded, exactly. To Hornet, who is incredibly nimble. And this isn't just like a cosmetic change. It completely reimagines how you interact with the game's world. Think about the knight's movement. Precise, careful. Now, picture Hornet. It's all acrobatics, silk dashes, these amazing air slashes, graceful leaps. It just transforms how you get around.
And what's really fascinating here, I think, is the deliberate choice behind that. The knight's movement being sort of limited, it encouraged a more contemplative style. Defensive, maybe?
Yeah. Wait and react.
Yeah. But Hornet, her toolkit is so much bigger. That silk dash alone lets you cross gaps the knight couldn't even dream of. It pushes you, almost forces you, into this high-stakes, aggressive, well, they call it a ballet of lethal strikes.
A ballet, I like that.
And then there's the new crafting system. It ties into that silk you collect, so you're constantly making these risk-reward choices.
Ah.
Do I use this silk I just gathered for, I don't know, a powerful new trap? Or do I hang on to it because I might need a heal in like 5 seconds? It's this resource tension that wasn't quite there in the same way in the first game.
That sounds like it really changes your mindset as a player. Aggressive, resource managed. And speaking of shifts, let's talk Pharloom, the world itself. Sources are painting it as like its own character. It's much bigger, much more vertical than Hallandist was.
Oh yeah, way more vertical.
That's not just a background. It feels like it's part of the journey with you. You get this sense of incredible scale, these really diverse areas, sun-drenched forests, these shimmering cities, misty moors. It's all still that amazing hand-drawn art. But there's a new depth, maybe, a more vibrant kind of melancholy beauty, if that makes sense.
It does. And if we connect that verticality to the bigger picture, it's not just visual flair. It becomes a sort of narrative device, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, you're always aware of that Citadel peak, way up high. It turns your exploration into this symbolic climb, this pilgrimage.
Oh, interesting.
And the world itself feels alive. It's packed with these fascinating new characters, beings with their own stories that weave into Hornet's quest. It adds so many layers to finding secrets, reading lore. It's not just about making the map bigger.
Right, it's deeper narratively, too.
Exactly.
And the sheer amount of stuff to do. The content. Silksong isn't just tweaking the formula, it feels like it's exploding it. The number of bosses alone is pretty staggering.
It really is.
And each one is described as this meticulously crafted set piece, a real test of mastering Hornet's new moves. The enemies, too beautiful, but tough. They make you use everything you've got.
Demanding.
And yeah, it's hard, like really hard apparently. But everyone seems to agree that the challenge is fair, which makes finally winning incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, that fairness is key, isn't it? And this kind of raises an important question, I think. How does Silksong manage to actually genuinely elevate the Metroidvania genre, not just continue it?
Okay, yeah, how?
Well, by taking that core loop, explore, fight, get stronger, and infusing it with Hornet's unique energy, her dynamism, Team Cherry's made this journey, this pilgrimage, feel completely earned. It sort of shows that by empowering the player with cool new abilities, you can actually increase the difficulty, but make the whole thing feel more rewarding at the same time.
So challenge and player agency aren't opposites.
Exactly. They can coexist perfectly.
So when you boil it all down, Hollow Knight, Silksong sounds like a real love letter to the genre, a shining example of what, passionate indie developers can achieve.
Definitely.
An adventure that's huge, but also intimate, really tough, but fair. Just unforgettable, it seems.
Yeah, I think, as everyone's saying, it's been more than worth the wait. It really makes you think, doesn't it, about how these smaller teams can push boundaries in ways bigger studios maybe can't or won't, and maybe how they can redefine what victory even feels like in a game. What if the real win isn't just beating the boss, but that like quiet satisfaction. Knowing you truly mastered something that asked everything of you.
Something to chew on there. A great place to leave it.